Mapoica, everybody, bienvenido. Let's see what we got here. Give me a second. Wepa Kenepa. What's up, Hansu? We'll get started in a few minutes. Hold up. Here we go. What's up, Hansu? Get started in a few minutes. Yes. Welcome. Woo. Yeah. Hey, Alex. What's going on? I got some setup going on here that I'm testing. And even bring this down. Yeah, I'm just trying to hear to see if my music in the background, you can hear that, you know what I'm saying? And so, with all that being said, yeah, here we are. Like I said, I'm just tweaking out some things with some new equipment, you know, new microphone and stuff, podcast microphone. I got these other mics. Like I said, building a studio here little by little. Don't have my laptop, so I'm missing that. But other than that, you know, the lights and stuff is what's going on. So with all that being said, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to start doing a podcast about YouTube news and what's happening. So I got surf the YouTube and a lot of discussions that's going on. So this one is entitled, was Jesus a serpent in Genesis? Was Jesus a serpent? Now, this is because, again, I stopped frequently going into certain podcasts. I got to tell you that. I had to step back and take on certain responsibility as a Crown Ambassador. I just have to make sure others, you know, sort of narratives that are being played. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if this works here. Hold on a second. Let me see something. Can you hear me? Let me see. No, this ain't working. Okay. All right. Just got to do some switches around. Make sure I hear my voice. Can I hear my voice? Yeah, I can hear my voice. Okay. So, you know, what I'm mentioning too much of those YouTube channels, because I don't want to give too much energy to those, you know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, it's still my people. Still my people. And I have an affinity for people. And, you know, but I just am not tolerant anymore to the nonsense. And I understand how YouTube works. Let me tell you, the more drama you have, you know, there are people that started in the beginning in YouTube and they created a stream for themselves, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of debates and drama and a lot of things. And it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you when you start, debating, or you start ironing out your differences, in a way, if you're honorable and you're sincere, you can educate people, and you can also educate yourself and get to grow as people. That affinity starts growing, your emotional tone scale starts growing, getting better. But I find that for many years, people just engage in these narrative debates and all that. It's just for show, So it's entertainment. It's just for show. I enjoy it. Again, I do co-sign to Esoteric Thought because of the content that he puts on there, and some of the speakers and professionalism and stuff like that. What's going on, Stephen Tony? Peace and blessings. And so, so this is what's happening on the YouTube. Now, I do also co-sign Black Magic 369 Black Magic, Brother Rich podcast, because and also Killer Priest. But in Black Magic, you get a lot of content and a lot of knowledge, but it deals a lot with the metaphysics, sometimes occult metaphysics, and it deals with that type of stuff. Again, I'm very careful with that because a lot of time it becomes speculative, and no applied science. But who's looking for applied sciences in YouTube? Unless you're going to build something, unless you're going to go to one of those channels, Library of Congress, or one of those mechanical engineering, podcasts, YouTube. Like I watch a lot of the Roland Coyle, those podcasts, and I learned a lot about the Roland Coyle and stuff like that. So, dealing with applied sciences, and there are some mathematical YouTube channels and stuff that you can learn math and stuff like that. They are out there. It is out there, especially some of the university has some YouTube channels, and they put a lot of content out there. There is, but people, again, we like the drama. I noticed, and a lot of the podcasts that I had visited in the past has been predicated on that. A lot of drama. So now the question is, last night there was discussion. They put this young lady that I know through the YouTube. Her name is Nepal Shadak. You know what I'm saying? We do have a little bit of our differences. We had differences in the past. We do have a little bit of differences and stuff. But I listen to the content and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Then now you have this brother that's on a podcast. His name is Sanetta. He's trying to push her as being the teacher and an institute. She's the master teacher now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to push that, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? If you got something to teach, go ahead, by all means, teach it. But remember, always put yourself, on that platform where you could be questioned. Always. I always ask people a lot of times I always ask them if they want to come on, just hit me up, and I'll send you the link and you can come on, and always test the spirit, test the knowledge. It's called experimental, experiment, test it, and find out. And then we get to, we find out whether, what's being, propagated, whether it's beneficial for us, you know what I'm saying, as a people. So we're talking about the serpent. So the premise, what she's standing on, and I say she, what I stand to reason by listening and what she's standing on, according to this podcast, is that she's standing on that the Elohims that are mentioned in Genesis were actually serpentines. There is a narrative. It's not something that she made up. This has been spoken about. This is a narrative that exists in certain schools of thoughts, and we're going to explore that. So this is only going to be an introduction, but we're going to explore that. And I'm going to drop a few things on here, but I'm going to tell you right now, I do have a Patreon. I'm getting it all set up, and I want to save a lot of this knowledge for the Patreon, because I feel that if you're going to, and it's only like $5 a month, but I'm gonna constantly put content on there, and I feel that what you put in, right? If you put worth to it, like you say $5 a month or whatever you do, offerings that you give towards an institute, towards knowledge, you get now to preserve it. You get to appreciate it more. You know what I'm saying? Because you're giving it a worth. You're giving it away. I feel that's important. So yeah, the Patreon will be up in a couple of days, and you know what I'm saying, it's only $5 a month on the regular, and you're gonna go on there, and I'm gonna try to drop 2 videos every week on a particular subject. You know what I'm saying? And you can have it on your archives or whatever, and you can study. I'm trying to lean more to the applied science and stuff that's gonna be beneficial for us. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, so when you look at, first of all, I cannot share this scheme. I got the blue letter. So this is only going to be an introduction. So I am going to put it out there, and then I'm going to come back and show you actual scriptures, actual, books, scriptures and sources where you can find what we're saying here. So now, we're talking about, in Genesis, and you read the King James Version and say God, but we all know that has been translated from the word Elohim, and you know that he means plural, so they were gods. It should have been reading the gods, right? So remember, they were hovering over the deep of the waters. They were hovering over. So when you put 2 and 2 together, you say, wow, but these beings that came down in the craft was hovering the water, and then who was viewing them was in the water. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about water creatures in Genesis. Follow me a little bit here. We're gonna explore those thoughts a little bit. You're gonna see what's going on. So we're looking at these beings hovering, right? And these became the Elohim, right? And they're the one that replenish the earth. So the earth was already existing, and then it became void, destroyed, and the new earth, replenishing, just like Noah did. When it mentioned those quotes, it's replenishing, right? So we read this, right? So we just gotta stand to reason what that's really saying, right? So now here's the thing. You got creatures submerged in the waters that can also hover over the waters, right? Then they forming man, breathe through the nostril, and man became a living soul. So we're going to look up the word living and see what that means to be a living soul. But also we're going to look at the fact that breath is being put into a being. And we say that's breath, wind, right? Now follow me. We say shoo in comedic science, shoo, right? Wind, shoo, breath of life, right? Shoo. And man became a living soul. Okay? Now follow me here. So it's saying that though in Genesis that the being that we know as Jesus Christ, this is according to the system, the being we know as Jesus Christ was present in the beginning in Genesis, and he was the one that breathed life into this being. How do we know this? Well, it's in the language. Remember, the language is the key. Language is the key. And so in the language, when you say Yah, right? You're saying, oh, Yah, oh, you, Yah, antak, Yah, antak, is you, oh, you, Yah. Then you have the next syllable, shoo, Yah, shoo. Huh? You get me? Yah, shoo. What? Oh, the what? The wind, the breath. Oh, wind, breath of what? Life. Life. You breathe life into something. Is who becomes That's why in Sufi they say Yahuwah, Yaman, Yahamu, Mahu, Elohua, right? Yahuwah, Allah, Wah. So you got So you got Yahshua. See that? That's using language. Now, people say, oh man, you just throwing it on the wall and what sticks is sticks. You know, they use cliches like that. But I could tell you this, that, you know, this is the first time you're going to hear something like this. You know what I'm saying? And excuse me one second. And it's interesting that when you use the language to, again, reason things out in language. So now you're saying, oh, the breath of life, right? The one that breathed breath into man and gave him living soul life, right? That could be interpreted, that could be seen as Yahshua. But isn't Yahshua the name also Joshua? Isn't Yahshua the name of interpreted to Jesus? So I can see where this is going at. You see, I can take it there. I could postulate. I can reason that out. You know what I'm saying? You know, because there are scripture quotes where he says, I was there in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's a spirit. The spirit, the inspiration was there in the beginning. So remember, this is another creation. You got the creation of nature, of human life, nature, virus, and body. Then you have another creation called spiritual, things that inspire you. That creation, okay? Man started to inspire himself to do certain things and inspired by the things that he saw, right? And then depending on the language that you use, he named things. He was giving the ability to name, right? So when you take it down to the beginning, we're looking at Yahshua. Oh, the breath of what? Life. Oh, he that breathed life, Shu, breathe life. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether he were a serpent being, that's symbology. That is symbology. You see, the idea of, hold on, let me look at peanut butter Oreos. I don't know what that means. Hey, what do you mean there? Yeah, Frank, I'm feeling much better. I don't know what you mean by peanut butter Oreos, but you take Oreo and you dump it in peanut butter. Ooh, that sounds good. So I hope that's what you mean. But anyway, so I can see this. So this is a narrative. Now I'm imagining, I'm using language, you know, and my sense of reasoning, and I'm trying to come to a reality of what someone else is saying. And I'm trying to say, well, how can we make sense of this? You know what I'm saying? So now, speaking about, were these beings reptilian beings? Well, we are reptilian beings. Yes, we're mixed in with reptiles. Because remember, if you deal with evolution or you deal with how life grows, and we're coming out of the waters. So yeah, we are water beings. We come out of the womb of the mother of the water. As you say, Ma'ingala, right? Ma. We come from the waters of those beings. You know what I'm saying? Of the mother. You know what I'm saying? So we are water beings. And remember, you also have to look at the condition of this planet millions, trillions of years ago. It wasn't as what you see today. The air, finer. We were more in water beings. There was more moisture in the air because that is what was needed to create life, right? So the reason why we have spleens, we have certain organs in our body where they say we don't really use them now, you know, tonsils and stuff like that, because those were left over from our ability to be submerged in water, like the water, the womb of the mother. You know what I'm saying? And then as we come into this finer air, which is less dense of moisture, less dense, you get it? It's still moisture. Air is moisture. You know what I'm saying? We're still in water, but it's not dense water. You know what I'm saying? You reason this out. So you say to yourself, well, you know, looking at the serpent and reptiles, can they live in water and also hover over the waters? Have anybody ever seen snakes in the waters? Yeah. And you see them on top of the water, hovering over the waters? Yes. Can they get on land? Yes. The water and land beings. You got a lot of other creatures that are the same way. So it's not so far-fetched that these beings, right, under those conditions were beings that were classified as reptilians or reptiles. You know what I'm saying? And these were the gods. You know what I'm saying? Because of the scriptures. This is the story that's being told. This is the script that's being told. Now, what I've just revealed to you. Oh, she asked me what I needed from the grocery store. Oh, peanut butter cream. That's cool. Excuse me. So it's not so far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? I could see, so like I said, there are occult sciences that teaches this. There's certain orders and certain doctrine that do teach this narrative about serpent beings, you know what I'm saying, being the gods. And so that symbology of the serpent, the cobra, used throughout Kemet, or used throughout many different cultures, even amongst Native American culture and Dravidian culture, or African culture. It's been very, it's evident. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? That this is a narrative. You know what I'm saying? This is occult science. And now when you break down the word occult, because remember, we have to define, we have to explain, explore, we have to break down the word. When you break down OCCULT, occult, OC is a prefix for occupation, the occupation of cultivating. And when you cultivate something, what do? You help, through nature, you help cultivate it. Right? You harvest, you cultivate. So that occupation. So that's what the occult science is. The skills of it's the occupation of how to cultivate certain things by using certain, science and using certain skills and certain ingredients or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's cultivation. So when you cultivate a condition, which is nature, then you got culture. So yeah, occult science is but you see, through time, and through propagation and through time, it's been given a bad name. You know what I'm saying? It's been given a bad name. You know what I'm saying? Certain groups take certain things and run with it. Like Freemasons was given a bad name. Certain groups took that, use it for their benefit. So we got to look at that. We got to think paradoxical when we're thinking about it. So, it's not so far-fetched that one of the Elohim, or Yahuwah, get it? Yahuwah, when you have a dead body and you want to breathe life into, you go, Yahuwah, that's breath. He, in ancient Kemet, right, in ancient Nile Valley science, is he, breathing in life. Became, so it became Yahuwah, the life giver. So that Yahuwah Elohim, yes, can be given the name of Yahshua. You know what I'm saying? The spirit that later on, according to the script, manifested in the man 2,000 years ago. He obtained that spirit of becoming a Yahuwah and Elohim. A Yahuwah was given the name of Yahshua because he breathed a new life. When it comes to the New Testament, a new life into an old paradigm. You know what I'm saying? So this is how language forms itself, and this is how you can actually stand to reason a lot of this. So I'm just sharing this with you. So yeah, a lot of narratives out there, a lot of school of thought. Yeah, they gave the serpent a very bad name. Is being now symbol with evil, is being a symbol of conniving, of cunningness, and stuff like that, with the qualities that we have as humans. I mean, I have a 2-year-old, man, and I observe it all the time, and the cunningness and the slickness. We're born. This is an innate quality that we have. You know what I'm saying? It's just that whatever you do, if you're going to do something, make sure it's beneficial, it's not going to harm nobody. Because remember, snakes have beneficials too. Snakes are beneficial for the soil. You know, snakes are reptile are beneficial for the environment also. You know what I'm saying? But then also it can bite you. It can cause a detrimental effect on you. You know what I'm saying? If you mess with it. So you know what I'm saying? And also one thing that we know about and dealing with this narrative is that when you submerge, put a cobra snake into a bag and you cut their light, it goes to sleep. Anybody seen that movie Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon? He demonstrated that when he pulled out the snake out of the bag, it was asleep and he had to hit it in the head to wake it up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like a dove. That's how they do magic trick, because the dove will fall asleep once it's submerged in darkness. That's representative of your solar plex. That's representative of that dark area in your body, the dark light, and that energy is submerged in there and it's asleep until what? You hit it with light and you wake it up. That's why in Chikimi they had the cobra coming out of the third eye. You know what I'm saying? And it gave, and you became wise as a serpent, but gentle like a dove. You know what I'm saying? It's throughout the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I could, you know, and yes, I do understand where the sister's coming from. She's on to there, you know, you know, and a lot of time, this is knowledge. Eastern, they teach us in the East, Eastern knowledge. So a lot of the time it's genetically encoded in us, and sometimes we have DNA explosion. So we're thinking about certain thoughts. We say, oh, why I'm thinking like that, because that's the coils of your DNA are now beginning to be activated, right? Bang, and you're gaining now this intuitive information, intuitive affirmation and information that forms. You know what I'm saying? These thoughts. Now all you have to do is find confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Find confirmations and stuff like that. So yeah, you see this a lot. You know, that was one of the narratives that's now being spoken in YouTube amongst a lot of Christian Science and a lot of discussion they're having on metaphysics. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, a lot of these narratives, a lot of these schools of thought were kept sacred and secret. You know what I'm saying? That's how they put things in hieroglyphics and those secret metaneta and those writings, because it was to keep those certain thoughts, those certain skills and stuff away from certain people so they don't misuse it. You know, so you have to have a rite of passage. You know, you had to go through a learned man and to explain it to you. And certain chemicals, certain plants had to be ingested so that you could open up and genetically encode it and gain that knowledge. Excuse me 1 second. I'm still putting out a lot of things. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to go into. You know, so yes, it's a big discussion right now. A lot of churches and a lot of people are going to shun away from it because they already got in their mind, oh no, the serpent is the devil is bad. You know, they're not thinking paradox. They're not thinking paradox. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at it. They're now sticking to a certain doctrine. Like you have the doctrine of Balaam and the doctrine of the Nicotinian doctrine. That's mainly what's being practiced here in the Western Hemisphere amongst a lot of Christian churches. You know, but they don't know it. Some do know it, but that's what it is. When you look into the doctrine of Balaam and you see it and you look at it and you learn about it, then you get to see, oh, this is what's practiced. So they're not really practicing occult sciences. They're not really practicing the true Christianity, the true messiahship. It's just not being, it's not for everyone, and it's not being practiced. So all I want to do is to share certain things with you. Like I said, this is an introduction. This go really, really deep, really, really deep. You know what I'm saying? When you speak about, you know, these different narratives, you know, I spend time checking out different narratives and putting the pieces together, experimentation, you know, experiences and experimentation, exploring different things at the same time come with it. And the reason why it's my interest, you know, it's just the way I am, it's my interest. And as far as being applicable, you know what I'm saying, when you have when you share it and you have like-minded people, then the chances are that like-minded people are going to want to be together, want to be able to do something together. You know what I'm saying? And have one cause. You know what I'm saying? And it's about applying it so that we can make our experiences in this world as humanity, make it more beneficial. You know what I'm saying? More enjoyable. You know. So yeah, that's my take on it. So a lot of this is happening. Let me see. Thank you very much, Naya. Yeah. There's a lot more to come. To be honest with you, there's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to come. We can break it down. Like I said, I enjoy doing this, and we can break it down. So make sure that everyone that's on my Facebook here, subscribe to my YouTube. I'm trying to get my YouTube subscription up. You know what I'm saying? I want to get that. I want to get 1,000 subscription on my YouTube, and I need your help, especially on my Facebook. I got over 1,000 people on my Facebook. I need your guys to subscribe to my YouTube. Same name, Silos Conga. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll help me out a lot. That will help a lot. You know what I'm saying? So that's the take on it. There's a lot of things happening on YouTube and discussions. So remember, just keep an open mind. Look at it. Try to put the pieces together. And if you don't know, then seek out somebody that maybe that are honorable, and that can not preach to you, but can give you keys so that you yourself can make those connections. See, I don't want to come out preaching or teaching and telling you things. I want to give you certain things and show you how I'm thinking, give you certain things so you can say, oh, then you look it up and you say, oh, wait a minute. If you this makes a lot of sense. Like we made sense of the word Yahshua, right? Yahshua. And if you go in the metaneta, you have Shu, Shu, and aha, right? So you got Yahshua. You know what I'm saying? You can put those linguistics together. You know what I'm saying? And that's, and then when you read people speak about certain things, now you understand what they're talking about. It doesn't feel so far-fetched, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that being said, thank you everybody very much. And listen, cheers to you. Thank you all those that joined. And hey, applause for you, my people. Hold on. Let me give you another applause for that. All right, because you are very important. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I enjoy, and I for those who took the time out to come on and listen, and like Naya made a comment here. He said very informative. Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying, Alex. We're back and Naya, it's my pleasure. You know what I'm saying? It's my pleasure. Hopefully one day we can speak and build. Also on my YouTube, I got a couple people on my YouTube. My cousin Mehdi, what's going on? Stephen, Tony, peace and blessings. Salim El, assalamu alaikum. A lot of these narratives, believe it or not, a lot of these narratives come from the Sufi. Come from Nile Valley. And came into the Sufi teachings and stuff like that. And it's called exploration. We can explore the different narratives and knowledge, especially Nile Valley knowledge, okay? And that's what I'm at. Anyway, with all that, love you all, okay? Saludos.